What if I told you that reality doesn't exist until you look at it? Sounds crazy, right? But stay with me. Everything you've been taught about how the world works, cause and effect, effort and reward, hard facts and solid ground, is just one version of the story. The real story, reality bends, it shifts, it morphs, and it all starts with a quiet power you've been using your whole life without realizing: awareness. Not the passive kind, but the kind that watches with intention. Combine that with imagination, your built-in design software, and boom, life starts responding. You're not here to react to some external script. You're here to write it. Most people live like background actors in their own movie, never realizing they're holding the director's chair. But the moment you flip that switch, when you start observing with purpose and imagining with clarity, reality can't help but rearrange itself. This isn't positive thinking. This is creation at the source. And if you're brave enough to test it, you'll never look at life the same way again. 1. Awareness is not inside your head. It's the field where reality happens. Most people think awareness lives somewhere behind their eyes, like a light bulb inside the skull. But awareness isn't in your head. It includes your head and everything else. It's the open space where life unfolds, the silent stage where every experience appears. Without awareness, nothing could be known or named. Even what we call out there is filtered through awareness, dressed up by perception before it ever feels real. When you pick up a rock, you think you're holding an object. But what's actually happening is that your awareness is assigning meaning to vibrations. That lump of minerals doesn't exist for you until your awareness interprets it through your senses. One person sees a weapon, another sees a paperweight, a geologist sees history. Same rock, different awareness, different reality. It's your awareness calling the shots behind the scenes. The power of awareness goes way beyond just observing. It shapes how you label, respond, and create your world. If you wake up and say, "Today's going to be hard," your perception starts collecting proof. If instead you shift your attention and say, "Something good's going to show up," awareness starts organizing reality to match. Try this tomorrow. Decide your day will be filled with ease and watch what happens. That's not fantasy. That's creation through awareness. Imagination joins the party here, acting like the paintbrush awareness uses to give form to the invisible. If awareness is the field, imagination is what sculpts the field into meaning. But what happens when imagination stops being random and starts being intentional? What if it became your inner GPS to shape reality on purpose? 2. Imagination is the blueprint of creation. Everything that ever came into your life, every win, every loss, every turning point, first passed through your imagination. People think they're reacting to life, but really, life is reacting to their inner movies. That dream car, that new job, even that argument you saw coming, it all started as a picture in the mind. Imagination isn't some childish escape. It's the sketch before the sculpture, the plan before the building. Imagine someone who wants to switch careers but keeps picturing themselves failing. Their awareness keeps circling that image, and life responds with more fear, more hesitation, and blocked paths. Now imagine they switch the script and visualize themselves thriving, calm, and confident, even if it feels fake at first. That's the new blueprint. Hold it long enough, and awareness starts reshaping the outer world to match the inner design. You can test this. Take 5 minutes in the morning to see your day before it begins. Don't just think about it. Imagine it clearly. Conversations flowing, opportunities landing, your body energized. Let your imagination become detailed and emotional, because awareness listens best when there's feeling attached. It's like giving instructions to a builder. You've got to show what you want with clarity and presence. That's how Joan of Arc moved nations and how modern athletes win before stepping onto the field. They imagine with such clarity that awareness starts bending reality to catch up. But here's the twist most people miss. Imagination isn't passive. It needs to be lived inwardly before it's lived outwardly. And once you start living it inside, reality begins to reflect a whole new level of agreement. 3. Reality is a habit formed by agreement. Take a look around. Your house, your job, the street signs, the numbers in your bank account. All of that feels solid, right? But none of it exists outside the field of awareness and shared belief. Countries are just lines on a map, but we all agreed they're borders. Money is just printed paper, but we all agreed it has value. What we call reality is actually a collective story repeated so often that we forgot it was made up. Let's break this down with a simple example. Imagine a chair. Now, to you, it's for sitting, but to a child, it might be a spaceship. To a cat, it's a throne. The chair hasn't changed. Your perception has. And when thousands or millions of people agree on a meaning, it hardens into reality. It becomes a habit of thought, automatic, unquestioned, and solid feeling. But it's still a habit, and habits can be broken. So how do you shift it? Start by questioning the facts in your life that feel like dead ends. Is your job really who you are? Is your bank balance a final truth or just a reflection of past beliefs? When you introduce new imagination into your awareness, you introduce new possibilities. Think of it like rewriting a movie script you've been stuck in. Reality doesn't resist. It adapts to your new narrative when you stick with it. Imagination lets you shake the cage of consensus and build your own frame. You don't have to fight the old reality. Just stop agreeing with it so often. Redirect your attention. Speak a new script. Observe the version of life you want until awareness gets the message. And that's where things get interesting, because the moment you start observing with intention, something surprising happens next. 4. Observation is a creative force, not a passive act. Most people think they're just watching life unfold, like sitting in the audience of a play. But here's the truth. The moment you observe something with full awareness, you're already changing it. You're not a spectator, you're a director. Quantum physics even backs this up. Particles behave differently when observed. But way before science caught up, the mystics already knew that focused observation is creation in action. Think about someone who keeps focusing on what's missing in their life. I never have enough time. Money's always tight. No one understands me. That constant observation becomes a script. Awareness locks onto it. Imagination fills in the details. And reality says, all right, if that's what you're watching, I'll give you more of it. On the flip side, if someone chooses to observe what's working, even the small wins, everything starts to shift. Not magically, but magnetically. You can try this right now. Pick one area of your life and decide to observe only what's improving. Maybe it's your health, your focus, your relationships. Every time you notice a positive detail, anchor it. Write it down. Speak it out loud. Let your awareness linger there. The more you observe what's working, the more creation leans in that direction. That's not motivation talk. That's rewiring how your field responds. This is where emotion matters too. It's not enough to glance. You've got to feel what you're observing. That feeling acts like glue between your awareness and the unfolding reality. When your inner space gets clear, your outer space gets stable. But once you begin seeing yourself as part of this awareness field, not separate from it, the game changes entirely. 5. There is no separate self, just stories in awareness. What if everything you think you are, your name, your past, your personality, is just a temporary story playing out in awareness? That you isn't this isolated identity trapped inside a body, but a ripple in something way bigger. The ancient sages weren't being poetic when they said the self is the same as the universe. They meant it. You're not a drop in the ocean. You're the whole ocean showing up as a drop for a little while. Think about how you behave at work versus with your kids or friends. Same person? Not exactly. You shift stories depending on the setting. That's not being fake. It's your awareness dancing through roles. You're not stuck in one mask. The real you is the awareness behind all of them. That's why meditation works so well. It strips away the stories and brings you face to face with the silent field that's always been there. Let's go practical. If you've been stuck in a loop of "I'm not good enough," that's not the truth. It's just a well-rehearsed narrative in your awareness. Rewrite it. Say out loud, "I am awareness having a human experience. I create the story, not the other way around." Keep that statement nearby. Say it in the mirror. Whisper it when doubt creeps in. Watch how fast the illusion of separation starts to fall apart. The more you remember that you're not the thoughts, but the awareness seeing the thoughts, the easier it is to shift. You stop needing validation because you realize you were never lacking to begin with. And once that internal switch flips, something wild happens. The world outside starts to reflect the vision inside, almost like it was waiting for you to remember what you really are. 6. This world is not solid. It's a projection of inner vision. That couch you're sitting on, the phone in your hand, they feel solid, right? But science and experience suggests something weirder. It's all being projected by your inner state. Not in a nothing is real kind of way, but more like your perception is the projector and life is the screen. Your awareness takes what's inside, thoughts, emotions, imagination, and turns it into what you see and experience out there. Ever noticed how your day feels completely different when you wake up grateful versus when you wake up irritated? Same events, different movie. That's because awareness doesn't wait for reality to act. It reflects the vision you're holding. Someone who sees the world as dangerous finds proof everywhere. Someone who sees opportunity notices doors opening. That's not luck. That's the projection system doing its thing. If you want a different movie, you need a different reel. Try this for 1 week. Every night before bed, imagine the version of your life you want to live. Not vaguely, be specific. Visualize conversations, moments, smiles, outcomes. Feel them like they're happening now. This isn't wishful thinking. You're feeding your awareness a new code, and when it's repeated with emotion, it starts updating the projection. And here's the kicker. When your inner world becomes clear and aligned, the external world can't help but sync up. Your vision starts pulling reality toward it like a magnet. But don't stop there, because beyond this shift in how you see, there's something even deeper waiting. It's not just about creating a better world. It's about realizing the next one is already available, right here, right now. 7. The corridor before the next world is already here. Most people are waiting for a better job, a more peaceful world, some kind of spiritual upgrade that'll come someday. And bam, but what if the next world isn't in the future? What if it's just a shift in perception away? The idea that another reality is coming isn't a fantasy, it's a misunderstanding. That new level you're hoping for, it's already here, just operating on a frequency you haven't fully tuned into yet. When your awareness sharpens and you start being radically honest with yourself, no more excuses, no more mental fog, you begin to notice something. Life responds faster, cleaner, almost like it's been waiting for you to wake up. That guided feeling people talk about, it's not a fairy tale. It's what happens when you stop resisting the flow and start observing from a place of deeper imagination and trust. It's like walking through a hallway and suddenly realizing there are doors you never saw before. The job offer that appears out of nowhere. The person who shows up with the exact insight you needed. It's not coincidence. It's creation aligned with awareness. To tap into this, you've got to live like the world was made for you, not in an arrogant way, but in a responsible way. Your awareness builds the architecture of this corridor. You're both the dreamer and the dreamed, remember. When you observe life from that level, you don't just react, you create with precision. You realize the next level isn't something you earn, it's something you allow. And once that clicks, you stop chasing, you start shaping. And deep down, something tells you you've only scratched the surface of what imagination and awareness can really do. If you want to elevate your vibrations and manifest with more ease, I have prepared something special for you. Click the link in the first pinned comment and join us in the journey of awakening your inner mage.